So good day, everyone. Um, it's good to have you here today. I'm Priscilla, and I'll be your host for today's session. All right. I'd like to know how ready or how prepared you have for today's session because we actually sat down and organized this power-packed session for you to come and see how we've been able to help our participants get job after training with us. So if this is your first time here and you're super excited to join us, could you leave a yeah in the chat? This is your first time. I can see Baron. It's Baron's first time. Hi, Baron. You're very much welcome to 10Alytics Masterclass. It's always fun with us. We always have fun while learning. So you're very, very welcome. So who else is joining us for the first time? I think it's pretty quiet here. Please, the session is supposed to be interactive, okay? I'm not supposed to, or myself and the alumnus are not supposed to be talking. You are also supposed to be interacting with us. So yeah, I can see a couple of people. Ademola, welcome. Damilola, Chisom, you're very much welcome. We have a lot of other people, and I want to assume that this is not your first time joining us. But either way, you're welcome to a 10 Analytics Masterclass session. I'll share my screen now to walk you through this session, okay? And I'm sharing my screen. As soon as you can see my screen, you could just leave a yes in the chat. As soon as you can see my screen, and it's bold on your end, please just leave a yes in the chat. So if you can see my screen, could you leave a yes in the chat, please? If you can see my screen, it's clear. Please leave a yes. All right. Thank you, Chiogo. Thank you, Chisum. Thank you so much. So yes, like I mentioned earlier, this is a 10 Analytics Masterclass. And today we'll be talking about how 10 Analytics was able to help alumnus secure a job after they trained with us at 10 Analytics. That's what we'll be talking about today. And I know that some of us are just joining us for the first time. So I'll go ahead to do a brief introduction of who we are at 10 Analytics and what we do actually at 10 Analytics. So how did we help people get a job? What are we doing? What are these guys onto? What are they about? All right, so we're a leading educational technology company with a focus on helping Africans and people of the Black community transition into tech. The way we do this is by first creating awareness, by first giving you sessions that will pique your interest in tech, in the technology space, and then holding your hand to actually learn these skills and landing a job thereafter. That's who we are at Analytics. The goal and the mission for us is simple: to get people into tech, Africans and people of the Black community basically into tech. So we've been doing this for over 4 years now, and in these 4 years, we've been able to help over 2,000 plus people transition from the classroom into their first tech jobs across the UK, US, Canada, Europe, Africa, and Asia. Okay, so this is who we are at Analytics, and this is basically what we do at Analytics. All right, so my name is Priscilla, like I mentioned earlier, and I'll be your host for today's session. I'm a passionate educator and tech enthusiast with over 2 years of experience cutting across the blockchain technology and data analytics. I'm a data associate at Analytics currently, and my experience spans across being a data analyst for a fashion brand, crypto educator for a blockchain club, as well as a budding front-end engineer, right? So I've onboarded and helped over 500 people transition into tech successfully. Okay, that's what I do at Analytics. I've been doing this for quite some time now. All right, I've seen people get into tech, get jobs in tech. So you're definitely in the right place. Okay, so this is Elijah Ebuluwe, and he's the growth lead at Analytics. You'll be seeing Elijah at some point in the session today, and he has close to 4 years of experience working on high-level projects alongside C-suite executives cutting across NGOs, education, finance, and technology. He has empowered 3,000 plus Africans and people of the Black community to pursue rewarding tech careers regardless of prior experience through mentorship and training initiatives. Okay, so what would we be doing today? Why are we here today? The first thing we'll be doing today is we'll have a panel session where you get to hear from alumnus of Analytics and how they were able to secure jobs. They will tell you how they got into tech regardless of their background, how they got started, and how they were able to secure a job after training with Analytics. Thereafter, I would show you the pathway to becoming a tech professional and securing a job yourself. Okay, so what's the pathway? What roadmap should you follow? So you've literally heard people that walked the talk. Okay, so what should you do next? What tech career path should you choose? And how you can land a job in that tech career path. Thereafter, we'll talk about our growth internship program, and then we'll talk about our special discount offer to you. So this is majorly what we'll be doing today. All right, and right about now, we're going to have the speakers for today's session. It's more like a panel session where I get to ask them questions, and they are our amazing alumni. They have dared to dream and they've conquered. Okay, they got into the tech space, they trained with analytics, and now they have a job. They're right here in the session, and we'll delve into it right away. So I'm super excited about today's session because once again, I get to learn strategies into getting into tech, what I can do better, how I can get prepared for interviews, what analytics can help me achieve. So if you're excited to be here, just as I am, I'm super excited to be here. Okay, I'll be picking people's brain. It's a very beautiful Wednesday evening, and this is definitely a good way to end my Wednesday. So if you're excited as I am, please leave a yes in the chat. If you're super excited to be here, if you're super excited to see how to analytics, some of us would have the goal of transitioning into tech, but we don't know how we can get started. Okay, we don't even know if this tech thing is real. We don't know. Do people really get jobs in tech? We hear tech bro, tech sis. How do they do it? How do they even come to that point where they realize I definitely need to get into tech, and then they take the leap to start a career in tech, and then they are able to land jobs. So I'm super excited to be here actually, and I can see a couple of us that are also super excited as myself. So I can see Oladipo, Gracious, Dolapo. This is just how about every other person here? You're actually here to learn, and you should be super excited to be here. So please, if you're super excited to be here, I want to see the yes jumping in because we curated this session for you. Okay, we know you need something like this to give you the push to get into tech. Okay, so you should be happy to be here. All right, so yes, we're going to get started right about now. Without further ado, without wasting your time, so we'll get started in today's session. And like I said, I just bring up the speakers for today's session. We have Oluwaseun and we also have Esther. So please, Oluwaseun, if you are here, could you turn on your camera and also your mic so we get to see you? Same as Esther. Esther, please, if you are here, please turn on your camera and your mic so that we could get started in today's session.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Oluwaseun. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me clearly as
All
well?
right. Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you yet. So if you don't mind, you could
Yeah,
just
I'm trying to
turn on your.
fix my light, so I'll get
Okay,
there.
okay. So yeah, all right, all right, all right. So I think I can see Esther on the call, but she's just not a co-host yet. Hello, Esther, are you here? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please feel free to unmute. Let me know that you can hear me while Oluwaseun was trying to sort his camera out, and then we get to start this session. Okay, so guys, I have a couple of questions for the alumnus. Okay, I have a couple of questions around how they got started in tech, how they were able to land a job, what role did analytics play, is analytics real, did they really do these things? I have a couple of questions around that. Okay, so I'll be looking at the chat from time to time. If you have questions, you could just leave them in the chat. I'd pick two questions. Okay, so if you have burning questions, if you've been meaning to get started in tech and you have burning questions, just leave them in the chat and I'll pick them from. I think I'll pick just two alongside the one I have, and then we'll take it from there. Hello, Esther. I can see that you're unmuted. Can you hear me clearly, please?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Good evening, everyone. Hi,
Hello.
Priscilla. Hi.
Good evening. Hi, welcome. So we can't see your beautiful face yet. Do you want to do us the honor?
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Then, yes, hello, Esther. Good evening.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you join us. So I'm just going to spotlight you for everyone, so everybody gets to see yourself, and I'm going to add myself to the spotlight. And then while I'm waiting, hello, Oluwaseun, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, but I don't
All
know why
right,
my
so are we
light is
good
not
to
coming
go?
on.
Are you started?
Yes, we can start.
Sorry?
So along the way, if I'm able to fix
Okay,
my
okay.
light, then I'll turn on my camera. But you can hear me clearly, right?
All right. Yes, I think I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me
Okay.
clearly?
Of course, loud and clear.
All right. Thank you so much. So, I think we'll start with Esther first. Hello, Esther.
Uh,
Good evening. How
why
are
do you
you?
want to start with me? Why do you want to start with me?
Ladies first. It's a pleasure to have you here, Esther. So, I
Yes.
have a couple of questions for you. We also have guests in the building, people that are really excited to pick your brain. All right, people that are excited to hear about how you got started in tech and
You're
how you
tired.
were able to land a job in tech. So, first question I'd like to ask you is for you to tell us about yourself, a bit about your background as well. That's what I'd like to start with, so everybody gets to meet you.
Mm, okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon and good morning, depending on where you're calling from. My name is Esther, and I currently have a degree in master's degree in business and management from University of Plymouth here in the United Kingdom. And I'm currently working as a business system analyst and a project manager, where I help business improve their processes and also their daily operations. So basically that's just brief summary about me right now. My background, I started from business education accountancy from Nigeria. So that was the background I had. So I was previously a business educator before I had to move then to the UK to do my master's, and then I'm now currently working as a business system analyst.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you for that introduction, Esther. So, guys, please, if you're not on this call with your notepad and pen, please can you get a notepad and pen because you'll be learning a lot and you want to take down points. All right, you want to take down strategies that Esther used, as well as Oluwaseun himself. So, hi, Oluwaseun. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So could you share a bit about your background, before joining 10 Analytics and what you do currently?
Okay, thank you very much. So, my name is Oluwaseun Adamaloja. So, I did my bachelor's degree in Nigeria from Obafemi Awolowo University, where I studied chemical engineering. Then I came into the UK last year for my master's degree in advanced chemical engineering as well. I know you'll be wondering, chemical engineering undergraduate, chemical engineering master degree, and now into data. That's where I found myself. So I'm currently working as a data delivery specialist for Severn Trent, which is a water company here in the UK. So that's I actually just got the job recently, just
Yeah.
2 months ago. Yeah.
All right. And thank you for that, Sheon. Guys, in case you missed it, so Esther was sorry, Sheon, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear. I just hope you're hearing me as well.
All right.
I hope you can hear me
Yes,
as well.
yes, I can. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Yes, thank you for that warm introduction. So, Esther was a business educator before transitioning into tech, and Oluwaseun studied chemical engineering before transitioning into tech. So if you're there in the audience and you think, oh, I should probably have a background in computer, a degree in computer science before getting into tech, this introduction should first of all break down that thought. It should break it into pieces. You should actually know that you can get into tech without a degree in computer science or any tech related degree. Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Esther and Oluwaseun. Now, the next question I'd like to ask you is, what was the defining moment for you before you decided to start a career in tech? So what made you feel like, nah, I need to get into tech? Okay. And then how did you find 10 Analytics? That's to you, Esther.
All right. Okay. I'll say, I think after completing my master's degree, no, um, I actually noticed the trend that was currently happening, which is tech, everywhere you go, tech, and then you see different schools, doing the advert on business analysis, data, and so on. So, in the course of doing my master's, I was actually opportune to go into project management, where I also it was an eye opener that okay, there are career paths like project managers. You can be a project manager. You can be a data analyst, because they had I had another selective courses where I can choose to go for a data analyst part of my master's. So but I wanted something more closer to my line, which is the business analysis. And then I started noticing some kind of inborn trend, like I'm trying to identify problems, like any little thing. I want to know why did this happen? You understand? So I was doing this kind of stuff. I was like, okay, I think I can actually go into this career path of being a business analyst. You get, and uh my husband actually, I told him about it, and he was the one that actually registered me at 10Alytics. You get, so he did his research. He went to different master classes, and he was like, okay, 10Alytics is well structured. They can actually help me with the career aspiration that I want to, and also with the job support. And he was like hyping 10Alytics to me and all the stuff like that. And I was okay, okay, fine. So when an opportunity came where they said, okay, there's a discount available, you can enroll and all the stuff, I was very excited that okay, I can now join 10Alytics. So that was when we decided, and I made a payment and I joined 10Alytics. So that's how I actually joined 10Alytics, with a passion. I know that okay, I found that business analysis is in fact it's in everyone, but so I just entered. I followed the trend as well.
Yeah. So you first of all noticed a trend, and then
Yeah.
you had a very supportive spouse that was willing to see that your vision come to pass, and then he did his research and figured a very structured learning platform that could help you
Yeah.
actualize your vision. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Esther. So,
Yeah.
hi, Oluwaseun. Could you also tell us a bit, give us a bit of insight into how you figured that you needed to get into tech, you needed to have a career in tech, all right, and how you found 10 Analytics as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've never thought about tech before, to be honest. It has never crossed my path, my mind before. So when I came into the UK, at the end of my first semester, so my friend called me actually before at the start of everything, because my friend came into 2022, I came in 2023. So when I came in, there was a particular day where we were just discussing. We studied electrical, electronic, I mean, mechanical engineering. So we were just trying to weigh our option that what's the one our hope in this country like? What's the job market like for engineers and others? How do we get things? How do we, how do we just get our way into the industry? And we discovered that it's achievable, but somehow a little bit difficult. Then we ended the call. So at the end of my first semester, I got a call from him and he told me that yeah, I started a boot camp. And the boot camp is very, very good. At least he has spent like a month and you can say for sure that they are really reputable and and all that. And I was like, okay, well, I just finished my exam and I think I have some time, even though I'll be working part time as well. I said I have some time, so I would love to check the boot camp out. And he told me a lot of good things about analytics. Then, even though I had to sacrifice my month, the rent for that particular month for my payment, but I didn't even care. So then I started 2 weeks into the program. I was like, I had to call him and say, see, guy, even if I did not even later get job in this in this tech of a thing, like I'm feeling fulfilled already, because it was just the first 2 weeks was so amazing and it was so. And a big shout out to my facilitator there, can't even forget her never. So it was the first 2 weeks was just so amazing, and it was even at a point I think that we were having a class in school, and I was telling my classmate that, see, you guys, I've left, I'm leaving you guys with this engineer of a team. I think I found another angle that I want to go into. So the journey has actually been very smooth and very, very um, valuable so far. So that's my own story about journey to analytics.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Oluwaseun. That's a really interesting one. Guys, if you notice a trend, it's somebody that would actually tell you about analytics, okay? So if you are here and you know somebody that is looking to get started in tech and they've been thinking about it or they don't even know what to do, just send them the link to this session, okay? Send them the link to this session, let them join the session and let them hear for themselves, okay? That's how you get started, basically. All right, so just send a link to somebody you know, a friend, family, anybody you know that wants to get started in tech, and let them just join this session and hear for themselves. Okay. So thank you so much for sharing that. Sorry, Oluwaseun, what program did you register with in Analytics? What program did you join?
Full data science,
All right, so you joined the full stack data
full
science.
stack data
Okay.
science. Yes.
All right, and in 2 weeks, you were already feeling fulfilled, although you had to make a huge sacrifice, and that's very commendable. Thank you. All right, so Esther, please, what program did you join?
Business analysis.
All right, so guys, Esther joined the business analysis program while Oluwaseun joined the full stack data science program. So, Oluwaseun, my next question goes to you. What are some of the tools you learned while going through the full stack data science program with analytics, and how helpful were they in your job search?
So we started with Microsoft Excel. I mean, practically what I use my laptop to do before even joining this thing is probably maybe do some write few reports on coursework and then use it to watch movie, Indian movie and all that. So we started with Microsoft Excel, and that's where the whole interesting journey started from. So from there we move on to Tableau. From Tableau we move on to SQL. From SQL, then we move on to Python, and from Python, we move on to machine learning, supervised and non-supervised machine learning, even up to computer vision. So it was such an interesting journey. And like I said, my facilitator was awesome. Like she was so awesome. So let's just leave the story for another day. So that was that was all the I think that if I can remember very well, that was all the tools that we used, and it was an in-depth training, like very in-depth. You don't even need to worry about the foundation. The foundation is already like everything is set. So and once the foundation is very good and it's very strong, you just need to pick up your blocks and just start, building up. So that was actually what helped me in my and another thing that helped me so far was I was able to lay my hands on projects to do some projects which I was able to put on my GitHub. That also helped me.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing, Oluwaseun. So you mentioned that you learned quite a couple of tools. I'd like to know, did you find them relevant in your job search? Do you still use them daily in your current role?
Yes, I use Excel every day because I have basically I use SQL 90% of the time. So once I'm done with my SQL script, that I need to output the to export the output into Microsoft Excel and then do some formatting with columns and all this formatting, just format the column and put everything in the right, make sure everything is correct, then before sending the files out to maybe other team or other person in another department. So I use Excel every day. I use SQL every day. Then there are sometimes that I also leverage on Python because sometimes if a requirement comes to me that okay, we need account number of customers and we actually want distinct account number. I find I usually use Python to carry out data. When I export the file, I load into Python to just um, if there is any duplicates, and then I filter those duplicates out. So I use Python. Python really handle that for me very well before I then move into Excel and do my formatting and then. So I use Excel, SQL, and Python very well, like every day in my job.
Yes, absolutely. And you learned all of this with analytics. That's quite interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Oluwaseun. So, Esther, as well, what are some of the tools you learned to use during your business analysis program with analytics, and how relevant and valuable are they to you in your current role?
All right. Thank you, Priscilla. I think I'll start with Excel. So we started with Excel, trying to know the data analysis part, which was actually the good thing about this whole stuff. Before now, I don't really have much you know much understanding on how to use Excel very well. So my tutor was ISOSA, and he came, he was brilliant. You get so we did a lot with Excel. We did a lot of case study using the Excel, and so Excel was the first thing. Then we moved down to Power BI. Yeah, I was able to create interactive dashboard, and which was my best. So I actually loved the Power BI, and I was very happy that I learned that. Um, then we also moved on to SQL, knowing those commands, and so I still learned that as well. Then coming down to the business analysis side, we did our stakeholder analysis, requirement gathering, project initiation, business document, um, which now one process mapping, which I also loved. I love doing my process mapping a lot. So we did that as well. We did Jira, ATL, UAT. So so it was much, like I can mention all of them, but it was well structured. The tools and technique was well structured for any newbies that is actually into business analysis, to be able to comprehend and actually use it when you get the role. So um I got a lot from my session, yeah, from my own program. So it was a lot. And those skills, those tools has helped me actually in getting my role as well, because I was asked, I could remember the last question I was asked, do you know how to do programs? And the moment I just said SQL, and that was all, that was the end of the question. Like, okay. What about trend? I was like, okay, Power BI, I get the data and all the stuff, and I can do interactive dashboard. That was all, So those skills, those techniques, they actually helped me out in getting the road I have now.
Yeah, thank
So
you so much for sharing that, Esther. So, guys, if you notice, there's absolutely nothing irrelevant that we do at 10 Analytics, because as business analysts, you get to learn SQL with 10 Analytics. That's like over the top of the roof. Okay, it's actually very, very, very unique, because you don't get that everywhere. You don't get to learn SQL as business analysts. You don't get to learn Power BI and the likes. So, Esther, somebody's asking, what role did you get? So if you could just say that, what role did you
uh,
get in the current company?
actually got two roles. One
Okay.
side, I'm project manager, and the other side, the business system analyst. So yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So Akachuko, I guess she got that right. She's currently a business systems analyst as well as a project manager. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, Esther. So my next question is, with analytics, the classes are actually projects and case study based. Okay, and so how did this project help you? Okay, do they actually help in your current role? Do they simulate your real life experience in your current role?
Mm, yeah. Um, for the case study, when it comes to process mapping, you know, with the case study we did, their tonalities, how to map out those processes. Um, I think I did about three case study on process mapping with analytics, and it actually helped me out. And currently, I'm also doing a lot of process mapping. So without that foundation, I won't be able to do the process mapping that I'm doing today. So from 10 Analytics process mapping. I'm able to, understand the step. I'm able to understand the basic shape. I'm able to understand the different flow. So I'm able to, take that experience now to where I am. Now I can't just do just basic process mapping. I can actually do the BPM 2.0. So it's a process. So from that basic flow to now a more advanced flow. So it's actually helped me. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing, Esther. So that question goes to you as well, Oluwashim. How did the hands-on project at Analytics simulate the challenges you face in your current role? How did they help? How did you find the case study-based approach, the project-based approach?
Thank you for the question. So, like I said earlier, I use Excel almost every day at work. I use things like conditional formatting, index, particularly index match. So there's a one particular file that I send out every Wednesday, and I have to use index match for that. So then sometimes I do pivot table as well. Then for the SQL, I write SQL scripts almost every day. I mean, virtually every day. So most of the case study we did on SQL, I actually have those case study, if not everything, if not all, I have them on my GitHub. So like I lay my hands on them and they've been quite helpful while last work. So they've really been so helpful. Then like I said with Python, I basically use Python to just check for if there are duplicates in any of my outputted and exported files. So you basically use pandas and just do that manipulation. Then so like all what I've studied, they've really helped me so far in my current job. I mean, it makes everything so easier for me to do. And sometimes I'm also the type that keep notes. So even they watch me do this video, I make sure I jot everything down. So it's always easy for me to just fall back on my note if I find something difficult at work and I know that okay, I've actually learned this thing before. Then I refer back to my notes and everything just goes smoothly.
All right, thank you for that, Oluwaseun. So, to our participants in the audience, I guess you notice a trend. You should notice a trend now. So, what analytics? Let me just give you that trend, just in case you haven't noticed it. So, the first thing we do is ensure that you're aware about the possibilities in the tech industry or in the tech space. Okay, then we help you to decide which career path to choose. There are numerous career paths in tech, okay? So we help you decide which one suits you, all right, to help you make that concrete decision. And then if you're worried about, okay, now that you said I should get into data analytics based on my interest, how do I get experience to show to recruiters, okay? How do I even know? I literally have zero experience. I'm a teacher, all right? How do I get experience to show that I actually learned this thing and I can actually do this thing that the recruiter is looking out for? That's where the case study based approach comes, the project based approach. So you get to work on projects that you are able to put in your portfolio. They serve as your evidence, okay? They serve as your proof. You're able to show recruiters that I've worked on this, okay? And then they just know that this person has experience. So it's really a robust platform at analytics, okay? You get into tech, there's no worry about, okay, how do I get experience? Experience should be the next thing because I literally just learned for 3 months. So how do I get experience? We sort that out for you. Okay. And the next thing we're going to be talking about now is actually our career support program. So we have sessions such as CV review sessions, mentorship sessions, LinkedIn optimization sessions, amongst the others. So to you, Esther, okay, how did these sessions, these are the extra sessions, okay, how did they help you change the way you approach job applications and networking? How did you find the CV review, the LinkedIn optimization, and the mentorship sessions? How have they helped you?
Wow. They were actually a lifesaver to me. You know, I didn't miss any section during my time. Like I was always there, like every Thursday. Like I was there. I will come, So I attended different sections from the LinkedIn where the optimization on how to create a profile, and how to get connections and some other stuff, how to look for jobs there on LinkedIn. So I joined that section, and it was actually an eye opener that my LinkedIn profile was scrapped, like so I actually went back after that section to restructure my LinkedIn page. And I think when I started with 10Alytics, I had 40 connections, and I've been able to grow that to 400. So, so
Wow.
it was actually very, very poor when I started. And my profile, the about me and other stuff was a mess as well. Nobody wants to hire someone like me if you're coming from the LinkedIn side and all the stuff. So that section actually helped me. Then when it comes to the CV side, it was another so something else again. They give us a template before now when we started. I think was it some weeks when we started, they gave us a template, and I used the template, but then it wasn't what I actually wanted. And when I came into that section, I learned more on how to restructure the templates that I had and how to make it my own. I also learned how I can use AI tools to tailor my CV to look for jobs. And it was really an eye opener. And since then, I was doing exactly I was told, and it actually helped me to get the role. So
All
those
right.
sections, don't miss any of them. I always attend the section, and it actually helped. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Esther. This mentorship sessions, the LinkedIn optimization session, and CV review session are a total package. After you've learned the
Yeah.
tech skills, after you've got the technical knowledge, how do you sell yourself?
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn profile, you can hear us that she literally moved from 40 to over 400. Okay, that's 10x. All right. So these are what our mentorship sessions and our employability sessions would offer you. So for you, Oluwaseun, what was what's the word? Sorry, what was the experience like with the CV review session, the mentorship session, and the LinkedIn optimization session?
Yeah, thank you. So my story is actually similar to what Esther said, because I didn't even know I even had a LinkedIn account until when I joined analytics during my first during the first mentorship section. So I think a lady, it was a lady back then. They invited a lady. So when she mentioned LinkedIn, I tried to open up my LinkedIn and like try to create an account. And when I put in the email, and it told me that this email already exists, I was like, have I ever opened one before? So I reset my password, and I discovered that I've actually had a LinkedIn account for the past 5 years, and it was just dormant. So when I was able to log in into the account, I had just three connections then, three. So I am just following up the mentorship, the LinkedIn section and the LinkedIn section basically. So I started doing some, manipulation, putting some things in the right places, my profile picture and all that. And currently, I've grown my account to 900 plus, so 900 plus connection. So then the CV review section as well. The, I think they sent about during my own training program, they sent us about 4 different CV templates. So I don't even know why you won't be able to craft a good CV. I mean, you have 4 templates, so it's just basically finding what is okay. Read the profile summary of each CV template and just try to come up with your own and just structure it properly to align with your own, your own career growth. So they were helpful section, and there was a particular time Adiza was on ground to tell us, okay, if you land an interview, use this star approach, this is how you structure, your answer and everything. And those are the things that I actually did during my interview, even though I had like several interviews before landing my job. And the good part was that I even had 2 offers the same week. And it was just incredible. I had to just go for the one that I know that, okay, I can actually grow my skills in this area. So they were those sections. My life, I can't write, if I'm writing the story of my life, there's no way I'm going to exclude analytics out of it. That's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. I will never exclude analytics. Analytics is a major change in my life, a major change. So the section, I would just encourage you, encourage the current or people that want to join or people that have joined already. Just, I mean, you are paying money, so definitely you want some value for your money. So at some point it will be overwhelming. That's the honest truth. It will be overwhelming, but just keep going. During my time, my watch me do it video, I finish them on latest by Wednesday. I'm already done with my watch me do it video. So it's always easy for me to tag along during the live class. Like I'm already familiar with what I'm going to teach us. So it's, to be honest, I know a lot of people have different commitments. You have jobs, you have business to attend to, but at the same time, what is worth doing is worth doing well. And the
Absolutely.
facilitator are so, the facilitator are just awesome. They are just awesome. My facilitator then, no matter how you drag her back, please explain this thing. She always go back and explain, like she will explain in detail. So I'll just encourage you guys, please just analytics is really awesome. And I'm planning to come back now for a data engineering course, just giving you a heads up. So
We're
that's my
always
story so
happy to
far.
have you. Yes, I'm literally grinning from year to year. I feel like I'm literally going to smile my face out. Okay. So, yes, I need to get reaction from people in the chat because this is actually fun. Okay. For those of us that were having doubts, if you were listening carefully, I don't think you should have any more doubts now. All right. So, if this has been fun for you, if you've learned a thing or two, if you are now confident of the possibility of getting a job in tech, please leave a yes in the chat. And I mean, everybody has to be confident. That if you are not confident, it means you haven't been listening. Okay, you haven't been listening to Esther, and you also haven't been listening to Oluwaseun. So please let me get
Um,
your feedback. If this has been
Sorry,
fun for you, if this has been
just
fun
to
for you, please leave a
hello.
yes in the chat. Thank you, Lydia. Who else? Thank you, Adelana. Who else? Please let's leave that yes. Okay, let's leave that yes. Yeah, thank you as well, Lel. So please, if you have questions, like I mentioned, I'll just look at the chat from time to time. Please leave your questions in the chat. I would pick two questions to ask our speakers for today. All right. It's been fun talking to you, Esther and Oluwaseun. And then yeah, my next question goes to you, Esther. All right. So what's one piece of advice you got during the training at Analytics, or what's one insight you got that's helped you or that stuck till date?
I think it's from ISOCEL. ISOCEL will come and he'll be like, open your window, throw out any negative thoughts, throw it out, relax, it's easy. Yeah.
Wow.
That's ISOCEL for you because sometimes you just feel overwhelmed, like, can I do this? Like, it's too much. Can I do it? Can I do it? And he'll be there and he'll be like, open your window and throw out any negative energy, can do it. And so now he's still telling me that as well. Even when I got my role, he was like, yes, that you can do it, you can do it. So that
Absolutely.
stuff actually is here. I can do it even when I know I cannot, but it's still on my head, like, yes, I can do it. So that that's actually, it has helped me. And with the current role I have now, I'm still using that. I can do it. I can do it. So
Absolutely. That's one
yeah,
very important advice because, like you yourself, Esther and Oluwaseun have rightly said, it gets overwhelming, okay? But then you have to keep pushing. You can't do it. Please just take out
yeah,
all negative energy. It's easy to learn. People that have learned it, people that have landed jobs, they don't have to do it. If you can
yeah,
imagine it, it can come to pass. You can't do it, all right? And that's one very interesting advice, Isosa shared there. Thank you for
yeah.
sharing that, Esther. Oluwaseun, what was your own advice that still sticks till date? What's the one thing you carry from 10Alytics?
You've
One
you've
piece of
prac- you've
advice or insight?
you've practically said it, because what I was doing one of our section, I think someone came here and you just mentioned that, look, he told us, guys, see, even some people at the industry, you are even smarter than these people. The only thing that is required of you is just learn these skills, be good at them. and I mean, you can get virtually any job you want. The people occupying this, I mean, the current role in this industry, they don't actually have two heads. They have just one head. They have one head, and believe me, you are even smarter than some of these people. That's the honest truth. So the just get the skills. I mean, learn as much as you can, then do projects because there is no. I mean, what is the essence of you learning something and you're just basically following through and you're not actually doing something? So that is, I think that's the most important part. As you're learning, try to do some project, even if it's just all these little projects. I have just little project on my GitHub and but just do something and it sticks more than you just following through every part, or maybe you are just watching those watch me do videos and you are not actually practicing what you are learning. So you can get virtually any job. When I first see my role, data delivery specialist, I was scared. I was like, which one is specialist again? where, where do I want to start? Which one are we doing that we are specializing? and I'm doing okay. My this thing was supposed to be 3 months. I mean, my probation period, and it's not even up to 2 months. I think a month and 3 weeks. I received an email that I completed my probation, and so it's just get the skills and learn as much as you can, then do projects. So that's all from me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So, Oluwaseun, I'd like to ask you a question from the chat. I think this question is absolutely important. So, the person is saying, you worked on projects basically, and then they're saying, how did you include the project you did during your program on your CV? Was it listed on CV as a job or only a project done?
So for every class we had, we always had a case study. So those case study, after we've gone through them in class, I also personally do them. Then I put them on my GitHub. Then on my CV, I only put the link to my GitHub file on my CV. So anybody looking at my CV can just click on that link and it's going to take them to my GitHub and they can see all the things I've done. And if they are impressed, then we take it from there. So sometimes you don't even need to say much during interview if some people will already done the whole thing.
Based on
They
what
will have gone to your LinkedIn, and my GitHub link is also on my LinkedIn. So they will have done all those research without you knowing. So they just wanted to come in and come and defend what you said you have on your GitHub or what you have on your LinkedIn. So my project are on my GitHub and the link is on my CV. So
All right.
I think
Yeah.
that answered the question.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Oluwaseun. So, I'd just like to know, okay, and this is for you firstly, Esther. What's a day in the life of a business system analyst looks like? What's your day-to-day activity? How's your life changed since you landed your role? What has it gotten more busy and all of that? Just give us a bit of insight. For those of us that are looking to become business systems analysts.
Actually, I don't even know where to start from, but I feel quite busy. Like you know, actually, I actually moved from the internship. We just rounded our internship, so that one was another busy, busy, busy because I was the BA lead there. So just finished from the internship, and I got a role and I entered, and then another busy, busy, busy. But then I was told to take it a step at a time, enjoy the process. And I have my work deliverables already. So I'm looking at my work deliverables and doing them a step at a time. And some days it's just going to the office because I work more like hybrid. So when I go to the office, I look at what I'm going to do. If I'm to contact vendors, I look at them. I research, do my process mapping. After the stage of identifying the stakeholders, I've already done that part. I try to build rapport with them, trying to, do my requirement elicitation by their shadowing and all the stuff. So it's just no, it's not too hard. It's just there. It's easy. I wasn't really thinking it's going to be that hard. So, um, the first stage where I am currently is actually very easy during the elicitation process, just communication skill. You know how to, rapport, you know how to communicate to your stakeholders and all the stuff. So it's just that's just it for now. I've not really gone into the deeper part where I'm going to do the implementation side and right. So for now, everything is very easy, and it's not like how how I was imagining everything, and now I'm the only person as the BA. I'm the only one doing everything, so I'm enjoying it and I'm taking it a step at a time,
Yeah.
doing my documentation, my process mapping, and just that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Esther. So I think we have just one question left. And guys, I can see your questions in the chat. Not to worry, we'll provide answer to every of your questions. Okay. We'll get to that session where we get to show you. Remember, I said the first thing I talked about that we'll be doing today is first of all this session where you get to listen to people that have gotten jobs speak. And the next thing is you learn how you can get started in tech. And in that session, we'll actually provide answers to your question. Okay. And we'll be delving into that session in about 5 minutes. Okay, so I have just one question left for Esther and Oluwaseun. I think I want Oluwaseun to go first. So for somebody looking to get started in tech, if you would advise anybody looking to get started, anybody that is on the program or on the call right now, and they're looking to get started, what would be your piece of advice to them? What would you want them to do? Okay, if you could just share that in 2 minutes, that would be really cool.
Yeah. So my own advice would just be irrespective of your background. I mean, the tech space is for everybody. So as long as it's what you want and you're ready to be committed about it. So no matter what you study, maybe it's engineering, geology, or anything. So you can always find your own path in tech. So like I said, as long as it is what you really want and you are ready to do all the work. So just give it a go and come and join the community. We'll be happy to
Yeah,
welcome you.
absolutely. There's a space for everybody in tech, okay? I always like to see it that way. There's a space for everybody, okay? And yes, thank you for sharing that, Oluwaseun. And same goes to you, Esther. What's one invaluable piece of advice you would share? People deal with imposter syndrome these days. They don't even know if they would get a job, okay? People have heard you speak, and some persons, I'm very certain that some persons still don't believe that they can do this. They don't believe that they can get into a 3 month program, do an internship, and land a job. So what would be your advice to them?
Okay. First of all, is joining sections like this, where you get to meet people to share their own experience, like the master classes. So when you join sections like this, and you see people talk, you hear from them, you're like, okay, if this person can get this, actually, I can do it as well. I can get it as well. So like he said, when you know what you want, you join master classes like this to get a bit of understanding about the career roadmap, so how the journey is going to look like, what the curriculum is going to look like. You get so when you know all the structure that are in place, okay, this is the school that is right for you. You get the next thing is to make yourself available. I was actually available for all my sections. My classes, I didn't miss any of them. I was there. The mentoring sections, I didn't miss anything because I paid for it and I wanted to get the value for it. So I was actually involved in everything about analysis. And at the end of every classes, they'll always tell us to go back and do your own research, do your own reading and as well. And which I do. I go back and do my own reading. In fact, everything that 10Alytics, brought out for us, I actually gained everything. Is it the Upwork? I have my profile in Upwork. I have my profile in GitHub, you understand? So I didn't miss out on anyone. So I actually enjoyed the process. So if you're looking at you want to start this stuff, business analysis or any stuff, you can actually do it. You can, you know, just start if you know, yes, you can
Yeah.
commit because if you cannot commit, don't come, because no, no, seriously, I actually know why I'm talking about commitment. You understand? Because most people they will like, okay, let me follow this trend, let me follow this trend. At the end of the day, when they join in and they don't get the value, they go back and say, oh, this school, they didn't teach us properly or something. You understand? They'll start giving a bad review about it. Meanwhile, they don't come to class, they are always busy, they make excuses and the rest. So if you know you want to join and you know you want to commit, if you give yourself, that commitment, you'll be able to get the role, and which I did. I was
Yes,
committed, and
absolutely.
I didn't get any break at all. No, I didn't get any break from the moment I entered. I didn't get any break, and I'm not still getting a break. You just have to commit yourself if you want to join the tech
Yeah.
space. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you for
Yeah.
highlighting commitment. The place of commitment cannot be overstated, right? Thank you so much for highlighting that, Esther. And it was a pleasure chatting with you, Esther, as well as with Washem. So thank you so much for sharing your experience, with 10Alytics, how you got started and all of that. So right about now, we'll move to the next phase of the program, okay? And my colleague Elijah will be handling that phase of the program. Thank you so much for joining in, Esther and Oluwaseun. Guys, I can see your questions. Not to worry, Elijah would provide answer to all of your questions in the chat and would also be in the chat to take your questions. Thank you so much, Esther. Thank you, Oluwaseun. I hope to speak to you some other time. Cheers. Thank you. Elijah, please over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Priscilla. Please confirm if you can hear me. Esther and Oluwaseun, it was a very, very nice discussion. Priscilla, can you still hear me? Am I still audible?
Absolutely, you are.
All right, awesome, awesome. I really got value from what Esther and Oluwaseun just mentioned, and it's very, very interesting to see that the work we do at analytics is also bearing fruit. And trust me, it's a very, very it's like the hierarchy of our goals. To me, I feel very, very fulfilled in cases like this. And what I always tell individuals when I have clarity sessions to them is at analytics, we do not recycle testimonials. Okay. So Esther and Oluwaseun are just one of the individuals who get jobs on a daily basis, all right, at the program. And I'll just quickly, dive into the main meats. I see a couple of questions in the chat. And that's where we would be going. How can you get started? How did Esther do it? How did Oluwaseun do it? Okay. So within the next 20, 30 minutes, I'll drive us through that process. Please confirm if you can see my screen. Priscilla, am I good?
Yes, you are good.
Okay, just give me a minute. Let me put this on slideshow. Right, fantastic. All right, so it always seems impossible until it is done. Okay. And I have a lot of persons, I know a lot of persons who would always say, Elijah, are you sure I can get a job within three to 4 months? Is it possible? What kind of skills do you guys, train on that would, enable me get that kind of job? Okay. You have heard it from Esther. You have heard it also from Oluwaseun. They learned for just 4 months. Okay. They did the internship. They did everything they needed to do and they went above and beyond. I always tell individuals, you need to go above and beyond. Trust me. In as much as there are success stories, it means that we are doing something perfectly well. And you just need to replicate the same effort and also drill down and also go above and beyond in every step that you take. Okay. It always seems impossible until it is done, just like ours has done it. And also Oluwaseun, we have several of our students who also did the same thing and you get to see their success stories. At the end of the call, I would share the recordings and the slides to everyone so that we can also, get to see individuals who have been able to land a job. I believe when Priscilla was sharing, she mentioned we've been able to help over 2,000 individuals transition from the classroom to securing their first job in tech. And you get to see in the slides when you receive it some success stories. From the first one I'll be showing here is Abigail. Abigail moved from being a care worker in Canada and transitioned into being a business analyst working for the government of Canada in Edmonton, Canada. All right. So we also have Joel. Joel did the data engineering program. He had a background in chemical engineering, just like Oluwaseun mentioning all of us is electrical engineering, but it's going to working within the data science space. All right. So you see, Joel graduated as a chemical engineering undergrad. He came into the program doing data engineering, and he landed a remote job working as a data engineer in the UK. And we also have Ramat. You get to see Ramat as a business analyst. Upon completing the business analytics program, she secured a full visa-sponsored job also here in the UK. All right, and she did the business analysis program without no prior experience. Okay, you get to see Muhyiddin. Muhyiddin did the data analytics program and secured a remote job with an organization in the UK. Just 2 months completing his program. He has not even done the internship. He just did 2 months in the training program, and he was able to get a remote job working from Nigeria for a company in the UK as a business development analyst. We also have Bukola. Bukola's story is also one of the recent stories, just like Esther and also Oluwaseun. Bukola got into 10Alytics upon referral from a student who had also gotten a job. All right, she came into the program and she registered for the data science program. And currently, she's working as a people data analyst for one of the biggest retail organizations here in the UK. All right, after she has completed, the data scientist program. All right, so we have a lot and lots of our alumni who have been able to move from the classroom, securing their first job in tech. You also have 20. So at the end of the session, you get access to the slides, and you would always, go ahead to watch some of the testimonial videos. All right, Tony also got a job as a benefit analyst in the UK, working with the NHS, full visa sponsored. Same with Vivian. Vivian did the data science program. No prior experience. She secured 2 jobs. One as a data scientist working remotely in France, and also becoming an associate data manager as a data and analytics individual. That's an associate manager, rather, data and business analytics in the UK. Same thing with Oluwadamilare. Same thing with Anointing. Anointing story is also very, very unique. He got a job as a performance data analyst in the UK after training with us. And the HR personnel reached out to him that there are other 2 more data roles that can be filled. And he also recommended 2 individuals from 10Alytics for that same job role. All right, so we have tons and tons of this individual. Okay, and without wasting much time, I would just want to just dive into this. How do I get these jobs like Esther and Oluwaseun? You might be thinking and asking that kind of question. So what do I need to do? There are just pretty much few steps I will just walk us through. Okay, and we've gotten to realize that there are certain mistakes that individuals make, especially individuals who move into new countries, the UK, the US, and Canada. So those are just like the hotspot countries we were just mentioning. So even if you currently reside in Germany or probably reside in France and you're on this session, so you can always replicate the same effort in wherever country you are in at the moment. So one of the mistakes we've noticed among students is over-reliance on degrees and certifications, all right? And when I have clarity sessions with some persons, the first thing they always ask me is, do I get a certificate after training with the program in 10Alytics? 100% you get the certificate, but what we are hell-bent on is we want you to learn hands-on. What kind of projects did you learn with? All right, for every, just like Oluwaseun mentioned, for every of the live classes, you get to work on case studies. And when you approach recruiters, you want to come from a place of evidence. And that's something about that, is distinct thing about the tech space. So you're coming from a place of what evidence. Recruiters want to know, how have you been able to do this in the past? Can you show us proof? And not just certifications. Certifications are just to show that you are committed to learning. All right. Other than that, nothing else. So if I am coming with my own tons of certifications, but also in addition, years of experience working on certain projects, recruiter would always go for me. And one thing we always tell students, You have person A and person B, okay? I'm going to approach a carpenter A and carpenter B to produce a furniture for me. So if carpenter A can show that he has a certification in carpentry school, but carpenter B shows that he has been able to do this for the past 2 years, shows me a sample of work, who will I go for? 100% I'll be going with the individual who has a proven track record. I don't care if you've gone to do a PhD in carpentry school, but you cannot prove to me that you've had this experience in doing this kind of chair before or this kind of furniture before, all right? So now, that's why you need to eradicate that from your memory. Degrees and certifications would not get you that job, just like Esther and Oluwaseun mentioned. What did the recruiters ask them? What have you been able to do? What tools have you been able to work with? All right, through your years working as a data analyst or through your years working as a data scientist. Experience would always thrive. Experience trumps certifications and experience trumps degrees, okay? So the next one is downplaying your past work experience. All right. And it's very, very, it's appalling anyways, and very, very sad, especially for the guys who move to their mid countries, try to jettison all of their years of experience, decade years of experience, moving from their home country down to the UK or let's say the US or Canada. All right. But there's something you need to realize. You need to be able to revamp your past experience, build on it. It should be like a foundation into your entry into tech. Okay, you've done 10 years or a decade years of experience as a banking professional back in Nigeria, and you've relocated. That experience still counts. No one is going to take it away from you. But how best can you then sell that experience to a recruiter in the UK? And that's one of the mistakes we've gotten to realize. Some persons would say that they need to start from ground zero. No, that's not possible. You have over 13 years of experience as a logistic personnel or a real estate manager in Nigeria. Why then start from ground zero? The goal, I believe, should be skyrocketing. We should be gunning for the bigger jobs. All right. So now, how best can you revamp your project-based experience? How best can you revamp your past work experience and present it in a better light for recruiters here in the UK? All right. So we'll move on to the next one. Also, one of the mistakes we've got to realize is a lot of persons are hell-bent on getting the UK, Canada, and the US work experience before they apply for jobs. Like I said, experience is experience. Trust me. Because you have years of experience as a banker in Nigeria, you've made use of tools. Excel is a leveler within the tech space. So you made use of tools like Excel. So how can you sell that experience to a tech recruiter here in the UK? Okay, so you do not need to have a UK work experience before you apply for jobs. Trust me, you do not need. You can leverage your past work experience in applying for jobs here in the UK. All right. So experience is experience. The tools that you use in Nigeria is the same tools you'd use as well in the UK. The Python being used in Nigeria is the same Python that will be used in the UK. The Splunk tools that will be used in Nigeria is the same Splunk tools that will be used also in the UK. All right. Same thing applies to Power BI. There's no Power BI version, UK version. There's no Power BI US version. It's the same tools that you'll be using. So how best can you, present your experience? So we've also realized that a lot of persons lack focus. And one thing that stood out for me in the conversations with Esther and Oluwaseun was focus and dedication. Trust me, we will drill you here at 10Alytics, and no doubt about it. It's not to scare you, you get drilled, okay? But you do not need to lose focus. You paid money for it, you do not need to lose focus, because individuals who went through the same process were able to do the same thing you are currently doing. So it means that it's a process that is proven to succeed, okay? And you would need to follow through that process. So if you want to become a data analyst, stick to the plan, all right? Learn as much as you can, burn the midnight candle, or burn as much funds as you need to do that, to get your feet into the job. Lack of focus is one of the things that derail a lot of persons from getting jobs. You see your friend getting a job as a cybersecurity analyst, you want to jump into cybersecurity analyst. I get to question some persons. So why are you doing cybersecurity? Just feel okay. A lot of my guys are doing it. I have a lot of persons that are doing it. But looking at your experience does not really even correlate. Why don't you do data analytics? Why don't you do data science and follow through that course to the end? So we also figure out that some individuals have poor CV and LinkedIn format and structure. Okay, just like what Oluwaseun said and also Esther mentioned. For us at 10Alytics, your CV and LinkedIn profile will be revamped. You need to optimize your CV. Trust me. You don't want to apply for a data analyst role, and we are seeing some funny experiences there. So how best can you present your years of banking experience as a data analyst? You need to revamp it. For every job opportunities you apply to, you need to have a CV for every job post. So how best can you present your experience in that light? So optimizing your CV, optimize your LinkedIn is very, very paramount, because recruiters would go and search for the online version of you. Very, very important. Why? Just me alone, recruiting for individuals within the team. Once you let me know what your name is, I just go online, just search, who is this person? Who is Esther? So let me get to see, is she really a data analyst like she presumed that she mentioned on her CV? Is she a business analyst that she has mentioned on her CV? And I get to probably a LinkedIn platform and I cannot even see any project she has been able to work on. That's already a red flag. Okay. I would also just mention that this person is not serious. So there's nothing to connect to you as being a business analyst, or even being a data analyst, or being a data scientist. Okay. So you need to optimize your CV and LinkedIn profile. Okay. So now you also the second to the last is very poor interviewing skills. All right. Individuals have tons of all these experiences. You've had 10 years of experience as a banker. You probably must have used the tools, but you do not know how to approach interviews. And that's one thing about what you get in 10Alytics. You have a mentor, all right, who would always prep you for interviews. Okay. For every interview you get to, you need to go through the facilitator. You need to go through the data coach within 10Alytics. You need to go through a mentor who would guide you, because we've been in the business of helping individuals get jobs since the past 4 years. And so we know every bit and pieces of the techniques to use, both in technical training and as well as what the case study scenario interview. So very poor interview and skills. There's one of the skills we use, one of the tricks we use is the sit approach. How best can you speak about yourself? Can you tell us about yourself? Some individuals will be mentioning the family background they are from, their years, and how many children they have. But no, you do not need to do that. Using the sit approach would help you ace the interview, where you speak about your experience, speak about your achievements, and the tasks you've been able to do. All right. So moving on, we have no relevant work reference, nobody to reference you to state that you've been able to go through, you've worked as a data scientist over the past 4 years, and we can vouch for you. You've been able to do this project, you've been able to work on this project. We can vouch for you that you have this work experience. You've worked in 10Alytics. Rather, you've worked as a data scientist, you work as a data analyst, and we can vouch for your competency. And that's what you get in 10Alytics. When you join the program, either as a cybersecurity analyst, or as a data scientist, or as a data engineer, you are not joining as a trainee or a student. Okay, you are joining as a consultant, all right, or as an analyst. And that's why when you get to LinkedIn, just type in 10Alytics, you get to see as many of our students who are using 10Alytics, what are the work reference. Okay, we vouch for our students' proficiency in the projects we give them, because we also consult for other organizations, and those projects that we consult for, those organizations that we consult, we use those case studies to train our students to answer real world case scenarios. All right, so now I'll just give a run through some of the mistakes we've noticed. One, over reliance on degrees and certifications, downplaying your past work experience, always speaking about UK, US work experience, not knowing that their experience back in their home countries can also be a foundation to securing jobs. Data engineering, they want to just jump into data engineering. They see something about cybersecurity, they want to fly into cybersecurity. No focus at all. So just stick to one career and follow it through till the end. We also have one of the mistakes: poor CV, LinkedIn format and structure. Very poor interviewing skills and no relevant work experience. Nobody to vouch for their skills, or rather, even experience. So that's why you need to join 10Alytics today. And this is part of the processes we use, in helping our students land jobs in tech. So 3 questions you need to ask yourself today, what skills do you have? Okay, being in the banking sector, you probably worked with Excel. You probably interacted with individual stakeholders. All right, so those are some of the certain skills. Communication skills is a skill that strives in the tech space. Interpersonal skills is also the skills. Usage of Power BI, usage of Excel, right, is also a skill. So do you have experience? What kind of experience do you have? All those years of experience you've had in Nigeria or you've had in Ghana, pack all of them. It's something that will be useful in the tech space. You need someone to walk you and groom you towards presenting yourself in a better light for tech recruiters, all right? And can you sell yourself? Okay, can you sell yourself? Very, very important. So now, you might be saying, Elijah, help me. What tech career should I get into? And which of these career paths would guarantee that I get a job quickly? All right. And I'll just breeze through that because of time. What are the skills you need to learn and how can they help you get a job? So now you'll get to realize that we are just focused on just 8 training programs, okay? And I will show you how we've been able to, figure this out. All right. Before we settled in on this career path, on these relevant programs, we did our own analysis. And as a data strategy organization, we have to, preach, or let's say, do what we preach. All right. We went into the different job boards in the UK, the US, and Canada. So we wanted to know what's now these jobs, like how many of these jobs can we see within this, this career path. All right. And we went into these job boards: LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Total Jobs, CV Library, Mustard, Google Jobs. Which of these job opportunities are being advertised more by recruiters? Right. You can get to see that from here, from the job board, we realize certain job posts that are very, very frequent, over 1 million job opportunities from this career path. So we did our analysis, right? We focused on over 1 million job posts from these job boards. And it's very, very easy doing that with an analytical tool. We carried out our data analysis on those job opportunities from these job boards. And our focus was on 3 factors. So which of these jobs are easy to learn? All right. So you coming from a degree in geography, or let's say music background, or a carpenter, or let's say a trader. So now, can I learn this training, or can I get into this career path within 3 months of learning? So ease of learning was one of the key things we looked out for. Number 2 is ease of transitioning. And when we speak about ease of transitioning, for how many jobs can we see? How many job posts can we see relating to this career path? Because it's a game of numbers. So if you don't have as many job opportunities to apply to, you can't really get those kind of jobs that you need. So how many job posts can we see that would translate to us applying as much as we can and giving us that possibility of landing a job? Because if there are as many job opportunities, it means that recruiters are always on the lookout for certain jobs. All right. So if I'm able to see 5 jobs on data analytics within the next 2 hours, it means that there is something going on within the data analytics space. It means that recruiters want more of data analysts, recruiters want more of data scientists and the rest. Okay. So ease of transitioning. So how fast can I see job opportunities within this career path? All right. And the last one for us was high and rewarding salaries. And trust me, as Black people, we want this. The third one is very, very key for us: high and rewarding salary, because that's one of the main reasons we left our home country finding for greener pastures. All right. So now, number 1, ease of learning, ease of transitioning. And the third one is high and rewarding salaries. And we came up with these 8 career paths, which is business analyst, agile project manager, data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, cybersecurity analyst, financial analyst, and HR analyst. Okay. And one thing in regards to analysis is, yes, you probably must have done all this, let's say, formulation and the rest. Okay. But you still need external validation. People would always want to ask you, so after you've done all this analysis, so what backs this your findings? Because I can't just come and just blab about these 8 career paths and tell you, okay, this is what you need to do. But let's have some form of external validation, and that's why we got to see this. We stumbled upon this report that validated all our findings. All right, it's the Future of Job Report 2024, right? World Economic Forum, carried out by the World Economic Forum. So the World Economic Forum is actually a group of leaders who come in to chart the future, all right, for the next 3 to 4 years, right? They are global politicians, industry experts, industry leaders, right? They come together to form policies, okay? So now, these recordings and the slides will be provided to Ross upon the end of this session. So you can always go ahead to click on this report, download the report, and also do your own findings. All right. We're going to figure out certain jobs. So the jobs at the left-hand side are emerging jobs. All right. And the jobs on the left-hand side are what? On the right-hand side, rather, are what the jobs that would decline. All right. You will get to see the first three that has been highlighted here. AI and machine learning specialists. We also have the business intelligence analysts. We also have the data analyst and scientists. All of these three jobs, careers rather, these emerging jobs, fall between the brackets of what a data analyst and data scientist. All right. So now we have information security analyst. So information security analyst, according to this report, is one of the jobs that will be in demand in the next 3 years. All right. And as an information security analyst, it falls within what you'll be doing as a cybersecurity personnel. We also have big data specialists, data engineers, database architects. Falls within what? The career path of a data engineer. Process automation specialist falls within the career path of a what? Business analyst. All right. You get to go through all these reports, all these findings when you get access to the recording of the session. So you see project managers. And for project managers, not just the traditional project manager, but the project manager that is able to leverage the Agile and Scrum methodologies. All right, that's why you have the Agile Scrum project manager. So it's not just a traditional project manager, but a project manager that can deploy the tools that are in demand relating to adaptability and also continuous improvement, because you don't want to become a traditional project manager. All what you just need to do is just let's say lying low on the waterfall methodology, but there are new methodologies with regards to project management and also execution. Okay, project management is also one of those careers that will strive right in the next 2 to 3 years. We also have database and network professionals, which falls within the realm of a data engineer and also a cyber security analyst. Same thing applies to financial analysts. You get to see, because organizations want you to speak about their financial health. So investors want to realize, before I'm able to put my money in this organization, what can be said about the health of the financial statement? Is it something that would be on for a long time, or is it an investment that if I put my money in now, we'll be hearing that the organization has gone bankrupt or let's say wound up? Okay, so now financial analyst is also one of the career paths that would strive in the coming 2 to 3 years. We also have supply chain and logistics specialists, which also falls within the realm of what? A data analyst and what? A data scientist. All right. So now, if you are enjoying the session, please can you drop a 1 in the chat? I would love to see if this is making sense to us. All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, Tayo. So let's keep it coming. So awesome. Christopher, Ibrahim, Adilana, awesome. Good. So now, Elijah, keep talking. I want to hear more, right? So let's quickly move on. So let's quickly move on. How can you get into any of these career paths? In regards to data analyst, data scientist, data engineering. So we'll just dive right into that aspect. So I don't want you to waste too much time. Okay, so now we have the career path, data analysts, and what the Agile project managers. And I'll use a case scenario, okay, to explain what business analysts do, rather, and what an Agile project manager or Scrum Master would be doing. Okay, let's look at 2 scenarios. All right, we're looking at, let's take, for example, the Instagram vendors. Okay, I started off as a vendor, and what I do is pretty much just to sell bags on IG. Okay, and first year I was getting some amount of sales. I put up a post, individuals come to patronize me, and at that point in time I would not be getting as much DMs as possible. Just once in a while, individuals just send me a message on my Instagram DM, and I'll get to relate with them. But I got to realize that as time went by, 2 years, 3 years, they were I don't everything just blew up, right? And I started getting a lot of patronage from as much of my clients, let's say customers on IG. So now that process of getting DMs was no longer efficient. Okay, it was no longer efficient because in my first year, I would tell you to send me a WhatsApp message. All right. And at that point, I was able to still monitor. But as the business kept on growing and all, it was not just efficient again. Okay. I could not track what was going on in my DMs again. So I always get a lot of DMs and the rest. But we need to make that process efficient. And that's what business analysts would be doing. As a business analyst, your job pretty much is to do what? Optimize the business operation. How best can we make this functional so that we can get value, give value to our customers, and also receive value to our own self? Okay, so now as a business analyst, you would map out their processes. Okay, customers would get to see your and the next thing is to send you a DM. So why should they send you a DM? How can we fix this issue? Yes, it was functional in the first year, but we can no longer do this again. We as a business, we've grown, over the years because we can no longer monitor our Instagram DMs again. So what can we then do? After mapping out the process, I get to realize that, okay, I benchmark with what other competitors are doing on IG, right? And that's where you get to see that a lot of these IG vendors now, they now have what we call a landing page. They now have what we call a website. All right. So now you get to see that in vendor A is able to attend to his customer faster. He no longer tells the individuals to go via his DM to send him messages. But no, he now created a website. All right. And inform his customers to go on the website, purchase, pick up any product they want. And from there, there's an automated process from checkout point to the customer calling them to confirm their order. And before you know it, within the next 2 to 3 days, the order is being delivered. But in the case where I would wait for my WhatsApp and for the DM to come in, all right, and before you know it, I would see a lot of you know how stressful it is to respond to as much DMs as possible. Okay, so now at some point, some DMs might get lost, and I'm not able to attend to those customers. So that's a red flag. But now, as a business analyst, you benchmark with what your competitors are doing in the industry. So you set up a website, be able to collate their order. And from there, you reach out to them, and there's a process, seamless process. I don't need to send you an account details for you to transfer money. You pay on the website. You pick the product that you need. All right. So now I've been able to optimize that process. The first year we were doing this, yes, it was working, but now as time went on, we can no longer keep up with this. So how best can we optimize this process? Setting up a website landing page that accommodates all these orders. And what would it help us do? One, reduce the number of DMs we get to receive, all right, and increase value for our customers. So our customers do not need to get a response from me until before they go ahead to purchase the product. Once I make that post on my IG, I tell them, click on the link in my bio that takes you to the website, and you get to see all these items in the catalog. So you go ahead to click on it and select the product that makes sense for you. And from there, there's a process already. You click on it, you check out, you pay immediately, and the customer rep reaches out to you to confirm your order. And from there, you get the product the next day being delivered to you. All right, so now as a business analyst, you mapped out that process. You were able to figure out the bottlenecks, all right? And you're able to provide solution, which was setting up a website. Okay, so now that project to set up a website will be done by who? The project manager. All right. So now the solution is the website, but it's not the business analyst's job to execute that project of getting the website done. So now you've identified this as a solution. You hand it over to the project manager. So now that setting up a website, it's a project that needs to be done by who? The project manager. So now the project manager goes ahead to figure out what resources do we need to set up this website. You will need financial resources, you will need individuals. So human resource, all right, would also come into the picture. Who are the individuals that would help us actualize this? We're looking at the web developers, we're looking at the UI UX designers, we're looking at the full stack, let's say the full stack developers, the backend developers, ensure that this project comes to life. And as the agile project manager, that is your job, to ensure that this project that has been identified by the business analyst comes to life. All right, so now you would see that the learning key areas within the business analyst is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. All right, before you then have a deep dive into what business analysis as a whole. And that's one thing about the training program here at 10Alytics. You're not just doing just business analysis alone, you do data analytics in addition to your skill set as a business analyst. And the reason why this is being done is because we've realized that recruiters are on the lookout for individuals who have a spice of data analytics. You would see from Esther currently did the business analyst program, but she's also using data analytics tools in her current role. All right, so imagine she was not able to do SQL or Excel or Power BI, she would have lost that job. All right, so she was able to do data analytics within our business analysis program. All right, recruiters are looking out for business analysts that can speak from a place of fact and not just assumptions. All right, so can you, when presented with data, would you be able to provide relevant solutions? Can you draw insight from data? Can you provide information? Can we bank on you to to decide and make an informed decisions from whatever insight that you share with us? Right, then you now have a deep dive into what business analysts do, which is process mapping. Map out the process, open it wide, how to figure out where the bottlenecks are, then providing solutions to those problems. You then do project initiation planning, agile and scrum for projects, software development lifecycle, requirement fundamentals, and elicitation. I always say this requirement is one of the key things, the key ingredients to solving a problem within a process. You need to be able to ask certain questions that ensure you come closer to your solutions. All right, we have stakeholder analysis and engagement, ChatGPT for business analysis. And you see on the screen there, become a business analyst within the program is 4 months, you learn for 2 months, and intern for 2 months. You'll be learning and interning, managing a web development application, working with diverse stakeholders. You work with the data analyst, you work with the data scientist, you work with the product manager, you work with other relevant stakeholders within the program, right? From the product data analyst down to the project managers within the training program. So learning areas, like I mentioned, and this is the training time on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays are for your live classes, all right? Morning and evening. In the morning, for the guys in the UK, the US, and Africa, rather for the UK, EU, and Africa, you train from 11 a.m. down to 2 p.m. working on real life case studies, just like as the session is being organized, a real life class. You draw the facilitator back to where you do not have an understanding of a certain concept. All right. You also have the session for the guys in North America, that's Canada and the US, evening time from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right. You can actually join either of these sessions that best suits your convenience, right? Be it in the UK or rather in Canada. Okay. On Sundays is what we call the Watch Me Do It video. All right. The live classes are always for case studies, as Oluwaseun mentioned. For every of the live class, you get to work on case studies, work on projects that you can attach to your portfolio. Because when recruiters get to hear you speak in interviews, they want you to speak from a place of experience and not just from a place of certification that you did one certain course or so. All right. So now on Sundays are what we call the Watch Me Do It videos. All right. We prepare you for the classes, the live classes on Saturday, next Saturday. We provide you with bite-sized videos that will prepare you for the next class on Saturday. All right, so I will quickly move down to the learning key areas for the Agile project and Scrum Masters. You get to do introduction to project management methodologies and structure. You get to do project management skills and communication, foundations of Agile and Scrum, understanding the Scrum framework, the Scrum artifacts, advanced Scrum and Agile practices, end-to-end use of Jira and Confluence in projects, Kanban boards for workflow management, Agile metrics and reporting, leadership and real-world application, Nexus scaled Scrum, and preparation for the PMS examination. All right, so some of the tools that you'll be using in the business analysis program, like I mentioned, Excel, Power BI, and SQL, that's for data analytics, which is incorporated in the business analysis program. Learn Lucid Charts, Pro.io, Confluence, Jira, Trello for project management, also in the business analyst program. And for the Agile project managers aspect, you get to learn Confluence, Jira, and Trello for workflow management. So I'll quickly move into the data professionals aspect, where you have data analysts, data scientists, and the data engineer. All right, you get to see the key learning areas, but I'll use this example. Okay, so now for the data analyst and the data scientists, they need data to function. All right, if there are no data, the data analyst cannot carry out his or her insights. Same thing applies to the data scientists. Okay, who then provides this data for these professionals? And that's where the data engineers come into the picture, right? So the data engineers provide the data that is being used by the data analysts and also the data scientists. Okay, so now the data analyst dwells on two major aspects in analysis. They tend to answer two questions, which is what has happened, right? And why did it happen? What has happened and why did this happen? We want to figure out what happened to revenue, right? What happened in January, February, March? Revenue dropped. Looking at the analysis, revenue dropped. That is what has happened in the past. So why did that happen? Why did it happen? And that's what data analysts are trying to answer. They're answering two questions. What has happened and why did revenue drop? All right, so you can figure out that when you've done your analysis, you get to see that, okay, there are certain factors to why revenue dropped. Maybe we were able to, there were issues concerning seasonality. Some products have some certain season that they get to sell, right? So that could be some factors. The other factor could be the marketing strategy that we used at that period was not really efficient. Maybe we did not make use of influencers, all right? It kind of, tweaked our revenue a bit from January to February. All right, so now we're answering what has happened and why did it happen? Answering those two questions as the data analysts. All right, but then as the data scientist, you are answering those two questions, but taking it a notch higher to predict into the future. So as the data analyst, you ask what has happened in the past, why did it happen, and what will happen when we made changes to certain factors. All right, what will happen? And that's why as the data scientist, you'll be leveraging on machine learning, building machine learning models, you'll be building statistical models to predict into the future. So what will then happen to sales? What will then happen to revenue in the next 2 to 3 months? All right, we've seen that sales declined, but now what can we do to make changes to the models and predict what will happen in the future? So now the learning areas for data analysts would be problem solving. You need to be able to answer specific questions. All right, you need to be able to figure out the problems you're trying to solve. All right, and there are different frameworks to problem solving. We'll be training you on that. All right, then you have a deep dive into the technical tools, which is Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, data storytelling, ChatGPT for analytics, Microsoft Fabric for analytics. All right. So a comment in the chat saying you will not be doing, won't you be doing Python? No, you will not be doing Python within the data analytics program. Specifically, these are the tools you need to get started as a data analyst. All right. There's 4 tools: Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Tableau. We'll then walk you through data storytelling. You need to be able to speak. Your data should be able to speak for itself, so that when non-technical stakeholders like myself, all right, look at your dashboards, I get to realize from the visualization what really happened. So what can we then do? Why did sales decline? Get to ask certain questions. Okay, so that's what data analysts tend to do: problem solve, figuring out what the issues are, so we can provide solutions. Then you walk through with Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Tableau, ChatGPT for analytics, Microsoft Fabric for analytics. So the learning timeline is 4 months. You learn in 3 months and you intern for a month, working on real life case scenarios. All right. And you have 2 training times, which is Saturdays and Sunday. Saturdays are for live classes. We have 2 training times, morning and evening. In the morning session for the guys in the US, rather the UK, Africa, and the EU, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. And the evening sessions for individuals in North America, which spans from 10 a.m. down to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And on Sunday, like I mentioned, just like for the business analyst program, you get to do watch me do it videos. You get to work on watch me do it videos that prepares you for the next case study on Saturday. So on Sunday, we prepare you for the next case study and concept that will be taught in the next session on Saturday. So for data scientists, the key learning areas, like I mentioned, you do statistics because you need to predict and forecast. You also learn statistics, forecast into the future. You learn forecasting and predictive analytics using Microsoft Excel. You learn Tableau for data analytics. You learn SQL. You learn Python programming language. You learn exploratory data analysis. You learn machine learning. You learn computer vision. You learn GitHub version control. You learn ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot for coding. You learn Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. All right. So it's kind of different. So like I said, you're taking what you'll be doing in data analysis as a data analyst in Notch higher, predicting into the future. All right. So the learning timeline would be 4 months, 3 months learning process, and a month internship program. And the training time is Saturdays and Sundays. In the morning, we have trainings for the live class by 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the guys in EU, UK, and Africa. Same applies to the guys in North America. There's a class dedicated for them for the evening session in 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time, or 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. West Mountain Standard Time. All right, so now for the data engineers, like I said, data engineers are the ones that provide this data for these guys to work. If there are no data, data analysts cannot visualize. They cannot provide dashboards. They cannot provide recommendations. Data engineers provide those data. And how do they provide those data? By building databases. All right, they are the ones that build the database. They are the ones that they connect. They're more like building the pipes that connect the different data sources within an organization into a central warehouse. All right, you can assume a data engineer as a plumber. Right, if you are conversant with the GP tank in Nigeria, you have the GP tank outside, right? That's the central warehouse. Connects the different pipes to the restroom down to the kitchen, Nigeria view, connecting all the different parts into one central warehouse where you can pull out your data from. So now for the data engineering program, the key learning areas are 1, introduction to data engineering, SQL, Python programming, Linux, building custom ETL pipelines where you get to build databases, scrape data from web, APIs, etc. You learn Apache Spark, you learn Apache Airflow for automating data pipelines. You learn AWS cloud computing, leveraging GPC, Azure, and also AWS, like I mentioned. You also do version control using GitHub. You learn ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. All right. So the learning timeline for the data engineering program is 5 months. You get to learn for 3 months and intern for 2 months. All right. And the learning times are twice every weekend, both live classes. Just like other programs, but this one is a live class on both days. Saturdays in the morning, this video preparing you for the next live class on Saturday. Right? So I'll quickly move on because of our time to just share with us what the financial analyst and HR analyst would do. So more like the financial analyst an HR analyst, it's more like a niche focus, right? In financial analytics, you are mixing the combination, collaboration with data analytics and finance, using data analytics to make sense of financial data. And that's why you see in the key learning areas, you'll be doing problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. The main core of data analytics. The main core of data analytics, that's what you'll be doing. You then have a deep dive into finance, where you get to do accounting fundamentals, sensitivity and scenario analysis. Key learning timeline is 4 months, 3 months learning, and a month internship. You get to do your live classes are on Saturday time for the guys in Europe, and the evening session on standard time. And on Sundays, same like every other program, watch me do video would prepare you for the next live project class the following Saturday. Okay, then we have for the HR analytics. So HR analytics is making use of data analytical tools to make sense of human resource data, employee-driven data. So you want to be an HR personnel that speaks from a strategic point of view. You are no longer a traditional HR personnel. You want to speak from a strategic point of view. So leveraging employees' information. How can we better improve welfare for our employees, right? How can we figure out why employees are leaving the organization so that we can provide benefit, or let's say provide provide a benefit, right, or compensation, okay, or infuse certain goodies so that employees will no longer want to leave the organizations again. So now the key learning areas are problem solving, Excel, Power BI, SQL, and dipping into HR analytics, where you get to do HR analytics and performance evaluation. You get to do HR matrix and life cycle. You get to do HR analysis and dashboarding. You get to do collaboration and report automation, building your case and creating action, ChatGPT for analytics. So now the key learning areas are 4 months, 3 months learning, and a month internship in 10Alytics. So on Saturdays are for your live classes, morning and evening sessions. You can attend either of those sessions that fit your convenience. Okay, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, specifically for the guys in Europe, and for the guys in North America, you can learn from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. On Sunday, it's prepared for the Watch Me Do videos, bite-sized videos that prepares you for the class the following Saturday. So now, the last one would be the cybersecurity training program. Cybersecurity training program, you have your key learning areas: introduction to cybersecurity, foundations of computing and networking, information security principles, basis, cyber threat and attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, web and application security, cloud security, incident response and forensics, cybersecurity policies, and compliance. You'll be making use of tools like Wireshark, Splunk, Cisco Packet Tracer program. It's 4 months. You learn for 3 months in your 1 month internship with us at 10Alytics. So now the training time for the cybersecurity program is Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays morning session from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. for both regions, the guys in Europe and also in North America. 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time for the individuals in these regions. All right. Then on Sundays, you have a Watch Me Do video preparing you for the next live class on Saturday. All right. So these are some of the jobs you can apply to. Just like you get to see that Esther was the person that did the business analyst program here at 10Alytics. All right. Business analyst, but you do not see a description, a job title as a business analyst. No, it was a business process analyst. All right. So now there are different jobs you can apply to after learning some of this skill set. As a data analyst, you can apply for a job as a data analyst. You can apply for a job as a business intelligence analyst, marketing analyst, sales analyst, logistics analyst, supply chain analyst. And this is what we'll train you on within the program. Okay, so you getting a skill as a data analyst does not necessarily mean that you would always look out for jobs as data analyst. No, you can apply for jobs as supply chain analyst. You can apply for jobs as logistic analyst. You can apply for jobs as a customer analyst. Same thing applies for data science. You can apply for all these jobs stated in data analytics, including being a data scientist, including jobs as machine learning engineer, forecasting analyst, demand planning, big data analyst, quantitative analyst. Same thing applies to data engineering. You just learning data engineering does not necessarily mean you'd only apply for data engineering roles. No, you can apply for jobs as analytics engineer. You can apply for jobs as AWS cloud engineer, Azure cloud engineer, ETL developer, big data engineer, and so much more. Even with the roles in cybersecurity, you can apply for jobs as SOC analyst, information security analyst. Just like I pointed out in the report, information security analyst is one of those jobs that would, skyrocket in the next 2 months, next 2 years rather. All right. So you learning cybersecurity gives you the opportunity to apply for jobs as an information security analyst. You can apply for a job as a pen tester, that's penetration tester, incident response analyst. As a business analyst, you can apply for jobs as process analyst, business systems analyst, what Esther is currently doing in her current role. You can apply for jobs as system analyst. You can apply for jobs as functional analyst, requirement analyst, business process improvement analyst, and so much more. Same applies to financial analytics. You can apply for jobs as investment analyst, and so much more. So when you get access to this slide, you get to see some of the pointers from this career path. Same applies to HR analytics. You can get to apply to jobs as HR analyst, people analyst, HR operations analyst, or inclusion analyst. Same thing applies to Scrum Masters and Agile Project Manager. You can apply to a job as an Agile coach, Agile Project Manager, technical Scrum Master, lean Agile coach, Agile program manager, project Scrum manager, and so much more. So now, how do we do this? We have this simple formula, C plus E approach. The T stands for what? The technical skills to get a job in tech. You are sure to get a job offer. The technical skills that has to do with Python, Power BI, and the rest, adding it to your ensure to what get a job. So now, what are the employability skills as to your privilege as a student? Number one, the CV review and CV revamp. All right. So all those years of experience you've had as a banker, how can we then modify it? Look as though you've worked as a cybersecurity analyst within those years as a banker. So how can we modify those skill sets that you've been able to amass in your role as a sales analyst, all right, or as a CS person, or let's say customer rep analyst within your years of experience in Nigeria? So we need to revamp your CV, you need to review your CV. We also have what we call the LinkedIn optimization session. Now, for LinkedIn, recruiters would, all right, we want to know who Esther is online. So if I check out, you get to realize that when they came into 10Alytics, their LinkedIn profiles were a mess. But within the first two weeks, going through the LinkedIn optimization program, they had to brush up their CVs. They had to brush up their LinkedIn profile too as well, because recruiters would always want to figure out who the online version of you is, and you don't want to be found wanting. So the third one is navigating the job market. The way you approach the job market in Nigeria is quite different from the way you approach the job market in the UK. All right. And that's why you see that Coca-Cola would devise its separate means of advertising to the Nigerian market. But when it gets to the UK market, there's a different model of advertising. All right. So now that's the same thing that applies to a job application. The way you approach the job market in the UK is quite different from the job market in Nigeria. Nigerians would want to see all the certifications in the whole world, but no, here in the UK, it's a skill-driven economy. All right. Recruiters want to see the experience you have. What experience have you been able to amass as a data analyst? Can you prove that to us? Can we see the project you've been able to work on? And that's what we're training you on. It's a mentorship session on navigating the job market. We have interview preparatory sessions. So we push you to apply for jobs. When you apply for those jobs, you get called up for interview. And we always tell our students, before you approach those interviews, ensure you go through 10Alytics so that we can prep you for those interviews. We've been in the business in the past 4 years, and we know what the technical interviews are, and we also know what you need to prepare yourself for case scenario-based interviews. We offer job references to our students. We can beat our chests for anybody that apply for jobs. We know that you know your onions, all right? We provide references for our students in jobs, on the job support, for the skills they've been able to learn in 10Alytics, for the projects they've been able to also work with in 10Alytics. We provide references to that effect. We also have on the job support, very, very important, like I mentioned. You've gotten the job, all right? Probably it's not always going to be so rosy in the first few months. So who can help you out? 10Alytics would also stand their ground with you, all right? Walking you through the job. The first 2 months, 3 months, till you stand your 2 legs on your job responsibilities. All right. So we also have what we call weekly mentorship sessions. You need to be able to learn from individuals who have done this in the past. And that's why we always bring individuals like Esther and Oluwaseun into the mentorship session. We call it the body mentorship session. So come and learn from people who went through the same process like you, that you've done, that are currently doing now. Let them share with you their experiences. Let them share with you their failures, what they did right, and you can also replicate the same effort and also, double that effort you've done. And lastly, Upwork optimization sessions. For individuals who do not want to do the normal 9 to 5, you want to just work on contract basis, you want to work on hourly basis, would walk you through optimizing your Upwork profile. Upwork is also a platform to get remote jobs. Same thing applies to LinkedIn. When we optimize your LinkedIn profile, you can always push out for jobs. You can get jobs on LinkedIn. All right. So now, moving on, the first key thing is what to identify your desired tech career, and do learn the right skills. All right. Through 10Alytics, we have a blended training approach, self-paced learning materials, and live instructors. All right. Time might not permit me to go into this, but once I'm able to run through all these nitty-gritties that you need to learn, and if time permits, I would show us what the LMS looks like. Within our program, there's a learning management system, right, coupled with live classes. Where you watch some of the videos in preparation for the live class session, you'd also have a live class with your instructor. All right, you get to gain project-based experiences working on projects. For every of the times you would be in the class, you are going to be working on case studies. All right, these are some of the case studies that have been highlighted here. Once you get the materials to the recording, you can always access these recordings, this access to the portfolios of our students by yourself. Gain employability skills, CV review and revamp sessions, LinkedIn optimization, navigating the job market, interview preparatory sessions, job reference is very, very key. You need someone who can speak for you. All right. We've had instances where recruiters place calls to us directly. All right. And we had to vouch for our students. In as much as we wrote those references for you, we will stand by you. We provided you those experiences and we on the job support. Okay. Networking and mentorship, very, very key within the training program. All right. You get to see individuals who are currently, when you are in the midst of great minds, same like minds, all right, in the US, in Canada, you get the opportunity to network. All right. We also bring in budding mentors who have been able to go through the same program and are doing fantastically well. You get to network with them and also get mentorship from this individual, and you are assured to get a well-ended approach. All right, so it always seems impossible until it is done. Okay, it always seems impossible. All right, a lot of persons always say, like I mentioned at the beginning, is 4 months still enough? I believe going through all these slides I've mentioned and what I've said, is 4 months still enough for us to get that job? Okay, you get to see tons of testimonials. Like I said, over 2,000 persons we've been able to migrate, or rather transition from the classroom to the workplace. You get to see their testimonials. They will be who got a full-time job as a data scientist in the NHS. Wesley, who got a job in Shell as a sales analyst upon completion our program as a data analyst and within 10Alytics. Vivian got 3 job offers, all right, with one of the largest financial institutions in the world as a business data analyst. There are tons and tons of testimonials you can always go through. Just like this kind of sessions we did today, like I said, 10Alytics do not, you can take it to the bank. We do not repeat testimonial videos. We do not bring on the same set of persons on a call. All right. For the next alumni session, sharing session, you get to see new faces of individuals who get a job in tech. You can see from here. This was in May. This was our May edition. We had individuals who got the job and we brought them in to speak. Since it applies to the session also we had in June, July. All right, we got 3 of our alumni to share their experience. Okay, same thing applied to the one we also had in August, also for the session in July, where we had 2 of our alumni, and now we're in this month. We've gotten 2 more persons who have been able to secure a job. So you can always, when you get access to this slide, you can watch the recordings of these sessions. Okay. As I said, it always seems impossible until it is done. So there are tons and tons of success stories. Biola was an accountant and transitioned into data analytics. Olugbemi as a banker in Nigeria and got a job as a business data analyst in Canada, going through the mentorship and interview preparatory session. Michael, who got a job as a sales engineer, working for a software company in the UK upon completion of the data engineering program. Amy Vaughan, who moved from being a lawyer and transitioned into business analysis. So there are tons and tons of testimonials, okay? So, and a lot of persons will be asking, how can I join this program? How can I join this training program? But before we dive into this, all right, so I would want to know if you are following. So from all the career paths I mentioned, so which one are you looking to get started? You can drop that in the chat. Which of the training programs are you looking to get started? Let me see if people are still here. That part you would want to get started with. Data analyst, data scientist, drop that into the chat. Let's get to see the individuals who are still with us. Okay. All right. It appears I'm the only one on this session. Okay. Busayo mentioned BA business analyst. All right. So let's keep it coming. Okay. Adebolu mentioned data analyst. Awesome. Grace, data analyst. Dataku mentioned data analyst. Okay. Okpa mentioned data analyst. Tanko mentioned business analyst. Cybersecurity. Awesome. Okay. That's very, very fantastic. Okay. So let's just quickly move into this. So how can I get started with the program? Our next, all right, October 5th, 2024. And we have a discount for the first 20 persons for each of the training program. Okay, so if you want to get started in any of the career paths, analyst or data engineer or cybersecurity analyst or project manager, you can jump on this discount, 20% off all the training programs. So instead of you registering with 750K and $50, you get to register with 600 discounted fee. All right. Instead of you registering with 750, you get to register with what 600 discounted.
Hello, everybody. Please confirm that you can hear me. Just leave a yes in the chat if you can hear me clearly, please. All right. Please, Elijah will be joining us back shortly. Meanwhile, my colleague has just dropped the link to the payment details. If you'd like to make payment, please go ahead, use the link. While we wait for Elijah to join in, if you have questions as well, you could also leave them in the chat and I'll pick your questions from there. Thank you. So let's just give Elijah about a minute to join us. Thank you. All right. So while we're waiting for Elijah to join back in, if you have questions, could you use the raise hand icon so we can take your questions? So if I don't know if you can see the raise hand icon on your screen, but if you can see it, please use the raise hand icon so we can take your questions. Or you could just leave your. Okay, I can see Ebuka. Hello, Ebuka. Can you hear me? Okay, I'd ask you to unmute now so you are able to speak. Can you hear me, Ebuka?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question. This is a good program. I appreciate the time. Is the recorded part gonna be are we gonna watch the replay? Is there any link to that?
Yes, absolutely. So usually we send these replays to our YouTube channel. So and you also get notified as long as you got registered before joining the call, you'd get notified via email when it's available on our YouTube channel and you can pick it up from there. So you'd always have access to it. Does that answer your question, Ebuka? Okay, so I think we have Elijah is back here. Hello, Elijah. Can you hear me clearly? I've just made you co-host again, so I guess you
Yes,
can speak.
thank you very much. So sorry about that. Can you hear me, Priscilla? All right.
Yes,
So yeah,
absolutely.
so sorry about that. I probably must have also missed a lot of questions in the chat. So sorry. Just had a bit of network lag. So sorry about that. So yeah, let's just get into what we were saying. I mentioned that it always seems impossible, all right, until it is done, right? So you can jump in on the first 20 persons discount, 750 for the dollar payment. If you want to pay in the full amount, right? Dollars discounted amount. For the pounds payment is 625, but if you are paying now, you'll be getting the 20% off and you'll be paying 500 pounds. If you are paying in euros and you'll be paying now, you'll be getting 20% off and you'll be paying 580 euros. If you're paying now for Canadian dollars, you'll be paying 900. All right, so it always seems impossible until it is done, and you need to you need to take actions immediately. So if there are questions, please put it in the chat, or you can use the resin icon. Then I can just take the questions right away. All right. So what about those in Nigeria? Yes. For Tanko, if you want to get the Nigerian fee, you can use. I'm going to walk us through the payment portal for. Yes, I'm going to walk us through that, the payment portal, so we can just look at that and it's also going to guide us in whatever we want to do. Just give me a minute. Let me share my screen. Okay, this is not going well. All right, so just I need to stop sharing. Then I'll open this up. Okay, okay, good, awesome. So once you click on the main stack link, you'd see this pop up on your screen. This is the website. All right, the main stack website, so that you can get your 20% off. All right, you see this website, mainstack.me/enroll 10Alytics. All right, it's a very detailed website. It's an enrollment center for us. So once you click on it, you can chat with 10Alytics. You can access the program brochures. You can also see the 20% off. So that link that is being shared in the platform is a unique link. So please ensure you click on it and you get access to this page that gives you 20% off for all the programs. So you can make payments in card or like, all right, you can make card payments, online payments using the main stack or installment payments. And the beauty about what we're currently doing is, since you're on this call, you have opportunities to two offers: access to installment payments. It's actually for a limited number of persons of 20. Okay, but installment payments, you can pay in 3 installments, 3 monthly installments. You can pay in 2 monthly installments, and you still have access to what? The 20% discount. So you need to take action now. Slot is actually for a limited number of individuals. So you can use a direct transfer if direct transfer is what you want to go ahead to do, or make your payment using the Wise account. So I'll walk us through what the payment portal looks like. If you're paying through Mainstack, right? You click on this and it takes you to this portal. Just give it a minute so let it just load. So I'll show you what it looks like. All right. For the individuals I mentioned that they'll be paying in Naira. So if you're paying in Naira, you'll be paying the 20% off for 1.2. All right. So yes, the 1.2, yes. So let me not make a mistake on the price. Yes, okay, yeah. So we're paying 1.1 instead of 1.2. Sorry, 1.1. That is the 20% discounted rate. For the Naira currency. All right. So let's just quickly move on. I click on the main stack payment. All right. And it takes me down Yeah, so sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with this network. I'll just quickly just show us. So yeah, this is what it looks like. This is what the payment portal looks like. Immediately click on the product you want to purchase. You come here, type in the amount. Yes, for the Naira All right, so sorry. So let me just quickly the questions so that we do not waste too much time. Please, you can unmute. I'm asking you to unmute now. So let's have the questions. So sorry about that. So it's already 10:17. This behind time already. Please, Ebuka, are you good to ask the question?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Please.
Good day. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you absolutely.
Yeah, this is a great program. I appreciate the panels and the organizers. This is very inspiring and gonna help. But the question is there any way, I asked it the first time, is there any way we could get the replay ASAP in at the maybe the WhatsApp community instead of like waiting for the YouTube upload, because I really want to like just like get
Yeah. I think lagging.
because I really want that because can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, because it's a great program, but I really want to know my responsibilities, like the liability, because this job have liabilities, what I'm responsible for. I think that's what because I don't want to be responsible for um information security analyst. Like I'm the guys, looking like, let's say for example you have situations like as a project manager, which you stated, you're gonna be responsible for looking for like a web stack developer, someone that have to develop a website, maybe not all the time. So I really want to know my liabilities as a person. Sometimes I just want to know what I'm responsible for, the problems I am willing to face and solve in the tech industry, and that gonna motivate me to really know if I can really be mentally ready to face this situation or to be held accountable. You get what I'm saying? So,
all right. So
go ahead.
yeah, absolutely. I'll fast track that for you. Okay. You get the recording of the session. Okay. We'll fast track that for you. So immediately once we are done, the recording will be shared. So we'll just allow for less than an hour, 30 minutes for it to be processed, because Zoom will need to process the recording of the session. Immediately that is being sorted out, we'll send those recordings to everyone who registered for this session. I believe that answers the question. Ibuka, does that work for you? You can just give a thumbs up if that works for you. So I think you're muted back again. I'm asking you to mute again, so you might just want to mute. Are we good?
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so awesome. So Busayo, you're seeing dollars because you're currently in the US. Okay, you would get to see the dollar payment. Try to make payment in Naira using the direct transfer option. All right. But the thing is, for individuals who want to take advantage of the installment payment, 3-month installment or 2-month installment, you'll be paying in the currency of your location at the moment. All right. And that's also available to so it depends, Busayo. So yeah, but I believe I don't know if you want to open, you might want to unmute yourself and ask a question. How do I change it to pounds? Busayo, is this the installment payment? Because for installment payment, you can pay in dollars, right? The 3 installment payments, you pay in dollars, but it's going to be your equivalent in pounds, all right? It's going to be your equivalent in pounds, okay? Do you want to unmute yourself and ask so I can really get what I'm asking you to unmute now so you can just ask the question?
Hi, thanks for the session. It's been really helpful. So yeah, I'm trying to choose a payment plan, but everything is showing in USD, even if I want to make a one-time payment.
Okay, good. So now what you do, I would advise you use the Wise payment. So you see Wise payment. Is that showing the case? It's picking up your proxy address, something like that. Yeah, because it's just location based.
Which one is which is the Wise address?
Use the Wise account.
Can I get that via the
So you'd
website?
see, just give me, let me try to share my screen. Yeah, absolutely. On the main stack. Okay, I'm sharing my screen now. Can you see this? So on the main stack, can you see this now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just scroll down to the end, right? Use the Wise account.
Oh, okay, I'll try that.
Yes,
Thank you.
once you click on it, you type in the figure you want to make exactly. So if you want to make pounds, you want to make Canadian dollars or euros, whichever
Oh,
one,
okay.
you can go
All
ahead
right.
to make payment, right?
Thank you.
Good. So yeah, that's fine. Look forward to seeing you in October 5th, when
Yeah.
the cohort starts, right?
All right. Thank you.
All right, awesome. So yeah, so good. So we are far behind schedule. This is 10:22. I never envisioned it to be like this. So sorry for having long and elongated session. But I believe we got value. If you got value from this session, please you can drop in a 1 in the chat so that we are on the same page. Did you get value from this session? Let's see the 1 in the chat. Hope I'm not the only one on the call. Do I see everyone with me? Awesome. Ademola, Grace. I hope to see you guys in the October 5th cohort. So ensure to lock in your discount because the cohort would start in October 5th and is open to just the first 20 persons to catch in on the 20% discount. And you can register using the installment payment, but that's also limited. Okay, it's a new feature we just opened up, but it's limited to the first 20. All right, so catching your discount. Yeah, Tanko, you can click on the enrollment link. Once you click on the enrollment link, you get to see the Naira equivalent of the payment. Like I said, the Naira equivalent full amount is 1.3 million Naira, but a 20% off would be a million Naira and 100,000 Naira. So 1,100,000 Naira. So, all right, so that's 20% off, all right, for you. So you can go ahead to make payments. Yes, exactly, in Naira. So if you're in the US, Canada, and you also want to go ahead to make payments in Naira, you can do that using the transfer option. And we get to see you in the October cohort. All right, cheers, everybody, and do have a lovely evening. All right, bye. So what if you pay now but cannot meet up with the cohort? Yes, you can. Yes, you can push your cohort. You can defer your cohort to the next cohort. So if you don't meet up for October, you can defer till the November cohort, right? So you can even lock in your discount for future cohorts, all right, for November cohort, for the December cohort, right? So you can do that on Momi, all right? Well, yeah, I think that's it. We've come to the end of the session. Really love you guys. Thank you very much for holding the fort to this point in time. Have a lovely evening and cheers, everybody. Bye.